So class, this video is going to focus on the directions for our project that we are going to do for World War II, which is going to be a memorial project. So real quick, imagine that you are, for some reason, connected to the UN, and there is a competition to design a World War II memorial to commemorate the anniversary of the war. Your task is going to be to submit a proposal to the United Nations with your idea for a memorial, for a global World War II memorial. So this is kind of a big thing to tackle because it is a global memorial, not for a specific country, and that's where it can get a little confusing. But we're going to break the directions and the rubric down in this video so you can understand it a little better. So there's kind of three parts to this, and these should each take 2 to 3 days apiece if you're going to break this project up into little pieces. So first is you need to create and design a memorial, and your memorial should be focused on a specific area. So it has to be in a physical location. This doesn't mean that you are picking just one country to make a memorial for. You're picking a nation to place your memorial in. And this can get tricky because you have to demonstrate that this is a world war. So you have to, pick where your memorial is going to be and then justify it. So the two guiding questions that you're going to use are going to be these two here. First, where should the memorial be and why? You're going to see that you're going to have to make a pitch later on to explain your memorial. But if you pick to put your memorial in Germany, you are obviously going to make other countries like, Serbia and the United States and Japan feel like they are being left out because you put the memorial in Germany. You may make Israel mad because Germany is the one that committed the Holocaust. If you put the memorial in China, you're obviously going to make countries like, Russia feel left out, or France. So you're going to have to justify where the world should place their memorial. Second, you have to have it so your memorial demonstrates that World War II was a global war. You're giving a very basic overview. So that's just kind of your brainstorming. You're making a physical memorial for this. The required information is going to be all laid out in the rubric, but this is just kind of a basic overview. The person who looks at your pitch and looks at your memorial should be able to get a basic understanding of what World War II was. If you've been to Washington, D.C. and seen the World War II memorial in D.C., it is not just a memorial to the people who died. It is also explaining a little bit about what World War II was in the United States. And that's kind of your goal. If somebody can go there and not only does it commemorate World War II, but it also gives them a history lesson. And you can do this through symbols, you can do it through art, you can do it through words, images. But remember, you're making a memorial, you're not typing an essay. What needs to be included is how World War II started, the Pacific theater, things from the European theater, how it ended, and finally, the effects of World War II. And these are all broken down in the rubric a little bit more. The last part is your sales pitch. So this is going to be a video that you are going to record showing off your memorial and why the UN should pick it. That's where you can add the extra information. That's where you can explain things and summarize different pieces of the war. And you're going to upload that to Google Classroom, and I will grade that along with your memorial. The thing about the sales pitch, please make it no longer than 6 minutes. You have 6 minutes to do it because after that, people are going to start getting bored. And you have to make your pitch quickly and get people to believe that your memorial is the correct one to use. So we'll go on to the rubric now and explain a little bit about how it works and how it breaks down. So you can see that the first criteria is the location. You have to pick a specific location for where it's going to be. And you're going to be graded on A, you have a specific location and you're explaining it. And B, it's appropriate for a UN war memorial. And this is probably going to be in your pitch. This is where you're going to explain why the place you picked is the place that the memorial should go. This is the visual portion, the memorial design. So this part is going to be where you actually design a memorial. I don't care if you do it on paper. I don't care if you make a model. I don't care if you do it on the computer. But you have to actually have a designed memorial demonstrating what yours will look like. And then in your pitch, you're going to be explaining the different ways it represents World War II. So if we keep going down, here's where the representation parts come in. So first and foremost, you have to show these things in your memorial. So you're showing representation of the Pacific Theater. You're not just explaining it. It's visually represented. In your pitch, you're then explaining the Pacific Theater and you're explaining how it's represented. The same thing goes for the European theater. You're showing that it's represented. You're using symbols. You're using maybe some words, some quotes, but then in your pitch, you're giving the summary and explaining what's going on. The final piece is the acknowledgements of the effects. So again, you're showing the effects of World War II. You're demonstrating how it's a global war, and then you're summarizing it in your pitch. So your pitch has to be pretty quick. If you think about it, it's probably going to be broken down into about 1.5, maybe 2-minute segments. Finally is just the organization piece. So your project applies knowledge and shows understanding. It's not just a list. It's not just you saying this battle happened, this person died, this person, was elected president, bam, we're done. There is not a lot of, mispronunciations. There's not a lot of spelling errors. And then finally, your pitch is easy to follow. It's organized. That's where you should definitely have it rehearsed. So I hope this video helps explain it. If you have any other questions, please let me know.